Part 22, Beowulf seeks Grendel's mother. Beowulf answered, Ecothros's son, Grieve not, O wise one, for each it is better his friend to avenge than with vehemence wail him. Each of us must the day end abide of his earthly existence, who is able accomplish glory ere death. To battle they noble, lifeless lying, 'tis at last most fitting. Arise, O king, quick, let us hasten to look at the footprint of the kinsman of Grendel. I promise thee this now, to his place he'll escape not, to embrace of the earth, nor to mountainous forest, nor to depths of the oceans, wherever he wanders. Practice thou now patient endurance of each of thy sorrows, as I hope for thee soothly. Then up sprang the old one, the all-wielder thanked him, ruler almighty, that the man had outspoken. Then for Hrothgar a war horse was decked with a bridle, curly-maned courser. The clever folk leader stately proceeded, stepped then an earl troop of Linden wood-bearers. Her footprints were seen then, widely in wood paths, her way o'er the bottoms, where she far away fared, o'er fern country murky, bore away breathless the best of retainers, who pondered with Hrothgar the welfare of country. The son of the Aethelings then went o'er the stony, declivitous cliffs, the close-covered passes, narrow passages, paths unfrequented, nesses abrupt, nicker haunts many, one of the few of wise-mood heroes. He onward advanced to view the surroundings, till he found unawares woods of the mountain, or hoar stones hanging, holtwood unjoyful. The water stood under, welling and gory. 'Twas irksome in spirit to all of the danemen, friends of the Scyldings, to many a liegeman sad to be suffered, a sorrow unlittled to each of the earlmen, when to Aesir's head they came to the cliff. The current was seething with blood and with gore. The troops gazed on it. The horn anon sang the battle song ready. So they found the guy's head. The troop were all seated. They saw long the water, then many a serpent, mere dragons wondrous, trying the waters, knickers a-lying on the cliffs of the nesses, which at noonday full often go on the sea depths their sorrowful journey, wild beasts and worm-kind. Away then they hastened, hot-mooded, hateful. They heard the great clamor, the war trumpet winding. One did the Geat-prince sunder from earth-jaws, with arrows from bowstring, so Beowulf's killing them all off one by one. From his sea struggle tore him, that the trusty war missile pierced to his vitals. He proved in the currents less doughty at swimming, whom's death had off carried. Soon, in the waters, the wonderful swimmer was straitened most sorely with sword-pointed boar spears, pressed in the battle, and pulled to the cliff edge. The liegeman then looked on the loath-fashioned stranger. Beowulf donned then his battle equipments, cared little for life, inlaid and most ample, the hand-woven corset which could cover his body. Must the wave deeps explore, that war might be powerless to harm the great hero, and the hating one's grasp might not peril his safety. His head was protected by the light-flashing helmet that should mix with the bottoms. Trying the eddies, treasure emblazoned, encircled with jewels, as in seasons long past. The weaponsmith worked it, wondrously made it, with swine bodies fashioned it, that thenceforward no longer brand might bite it, and battle sword hurt it. And that was not least of helpers in prowess, that Hrothgar's spokesman had lent him when straitened. And the hilted hand-sword was Hrunting entitled, old and most excellent among all of the treasures. Its blade was of iron, blotted with poison, hardened with gore. It failed not in battle. Any hero under heaven in hand who brandished, who ventured to take it to the terrible journeys, the battlefield sought, not the earliest occasion that deeds of daring was destined to accomplish. Ecglaf's kinsman minded not soothly, exulting in strength, what erst he had spoken, drunken with wine, when the weapon he lent to, a sword hero bolder, himself did not venture, neath the strife of the currents his life to endanger. To fame deeds perform, there he forfeited glory, repute for his strength. Not so with the other, when clad in his corset had equipped him for battle. Part 23, Beowulf's fight with Grendal's mother. Beowulf spake, Egothra's son. Recall now, O famous kinsman of Healfdene, prince very prudent, now to part I am ready. Gold friend of Earlman, what erst we agreed on? Should I lay down my life in lending thee assistance? When my earth joys were over, thou wouldest evermore serve me. Instead of a father, my faithful thanemen, my trusty retainers, to protect thou and care for. Fall I in battle, and, Hrothgar beloved, send unto Hygelac the high-valued jewels thou'st to me allotted. The lord of the Geatmen may perceive from the gold, the Hrethling may see it, when he looks on the jewels that a gem-giver found I, good over measure, enjoyed him while able, and the ancient heirloom unfirth permit thou, the famed one to have, the heavy sword splendid, the hard-edged weapon, with Hrunting to aid me, I shall gain me glory, or grim death shall take me. The atheling of the Geatmen uttered these words, and heroic did hasten, not any rejoinder was willfully to wait for. The wave current swallowed the doughty in battle. Then, a day's length elapsed ere he was able to see the sea at its bottom. Early she found then, who 50 of winters, the course of the currents kept in her fury, grisly and greedy, that the grim one's dominion some of men from above was exploring. Forth did she grab them, grappling the warrior with horrible clutches. Yet, no sooner she injured, his body unscathed, the byrnie outguarded, that she proved but powerless to pierce through the armor, the limb mail locked with loath-grabbing fingers. The sea-wolf bare then, when bottomward came she, the ring prince homeward, that, after he was powerless, he had daring to deal with his weapons. But many a mere beast tormented him swimming. Flood beasts no few with fierce biting tusks did break through his byrnie, the brave one pursued they. The earl then discovered he was down in some cavern, where no water whatever anywise harmed him, and the clutch of the current could come not anear him, since the roof-tall prevented, brightness a-gleaming, firelight he saw, flashing resplendent. The good one saw then the sea-bottom's monster, the mighty mere woman he had made a great onset with weapon of battle. His hand not desisted from striking, that war-bait struck on her head, and then a battle song greedy. The stranger perceived then the sword would not bite, her life would not injure. But the falchion failed, the folk prince when straitened. Erst it had come on the onsets encountered, oft cloven the helmet, the fated one's armor. 'Twas the first time that ever the excellent jewel had failed of its fame. Firm-mooded after, not heedless of valor, but mindful of glory, was Hygelac's kinsman. The hero chief's angry, cast then his carved sword covered in jewels, that it lay on the earth, hard and steel-pointed. He hoped in his strength, his hand grapple sturdy. So he's dropping his weapons, go up with the hands. So any must act wherever he thinketh. To gain him in battle glory unending, and is reckless of living, the lord of the war-geats. He shrank not from battle, seized by the shoulder the mother of Grendal, then, mighty in struggle, swung he his enemy, since his anger was kindled, that she fell to the floor. With furious grapple she gave him requital early thereafter, and stretched out to grab him, the strongest of warriors. Faint mood stumbled till he fell in his traces, foot-going champion. Then she sat on the hall guest, and wielded her war-knife, wide-bladed flashing. For her son would take vengeance, her one only baron. His breast armor woven bowed on his shoulder, it guarded his life. The entrance defended 'gainst sword points and edges. Ecglau's son there had fatally journeyed, champion of Geatmen, in the arms of the ocean, had the armor not given close-woven corset, comfort, and succor, and had only God most holy not awarded the victory. All-knowing Lord, easily did heaven's ruler most righteous arrange it with justice. Uprose he erect, ready for battle.